Hello, this is Doug with Top to Bottom Services. Today we're going to go over the fabrication of storage shelf units that you'll use to store the panels and riders you'll be getting from your real estate agents and brokers. The raw materials are simply a multi-shelf unit. You can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. They run about $80. And wood dowels. Two primary diameters, about 7/16 and 3/8. The larger diameter we'll show you on the bottom for the larger panels. The narrower ones, to save some money, we can use those in the smaller span spaces. The big shelf is characterized by one feature that's important, and that is that the shelf you buy wants to have a continuous corner beam here. Some of them you can buy are 4 feet long with like a joiner here. We don't recommend that because the weight that you're carrying on these shelves will be significant, and those things are prone to tipping over. Next thing we'll show you is how these are in their intermediate forms. Then we'll go through the actual fabrication steps. Here we have some shelves in their intermediate state. This shelf here is using 5 horizontal shelving units to accommodate larger panels and then riders. This shelf unit uses 6, and this features a smaller panel pocket and intermediate rider pockets. Now, as you have experience with this and start developing your requirements, you'll probably be using a mix of these 2 units. One thing that's notable is you'll observe that the dowels here go up to just this midpoint. And if you can make it out, there's 2 panels here. That's because the dowel comes up and is cut off here. And then the second level has another 4-foot dowel. These 2 boards are situated so it can accept the dowels from the bottom and accept these dowels from here. That same procedure is done over here as well. We'll show the details of implementing that. Now, these are examples of these shelves completely loaded. If you remember in the previous scene, we had the 2 large panels and a couple of riders. Here's the other one fully loaded with metal intermediate sized panels, riders, intermediate again, and more riders again. You notice that some of the shelves we extend the dowels through the tops so we can stack riders here. Some shelves we end up just cutting them off because we might need storage here. That'll be up to you. But as you go, you can see this is going to get pretty well full. These are all metal panels, so when you get done, this is going to weigh probably 450 pounds, maybe 500 pounds. We're going to start on the first step of creating a 6-shelf unit. First thing we're going to do, if you recall, on a 6-shelf unit, we had 3 shelves on the bottom connected by rods, 3 shelves on the top connected by smaller rods. What I've done is I've taken those 3 bottom shelves and, using my shelf unit here as a little bit of a work surface and sawhorse, screwed them together. There's a screw at each end, drill a pilot hole and screw them, and this helps them stay together while you're working on them. You like to work on them as a unit. I've put a guideline in the back for the row of holes. I'm going to put one up here, and it doesn't have to be particularly accurate, but you just want to give yourself a guideline. Next is to take your measuring tool here, and we like to use about a 3-inch pocket. Now keep in mind that the corner over here takes out a good piece of the pocket, so the first one will be in about 4 inches from the end, and then every 3 after that. Now, after you've made your holes, of course you go down both sides. You're going to take a 1/2-inch drill bit. Now I recommend using a power drill because battery powered one will just give out too fast. You drill clear through all 3 pieces, and you'll see now that the rod will fit through. Now, we don't recommend you actually try to make a clearance hole. That'll be kind of hard to work with once you've got these in place. Plus, if the dowel actually breaks later, it'll be hard to replace if you've got a press fit in there. Now that we've gone about drilling the panels in their sets, if you recall, this is a 2 pairs of 3. So we're going to have 3 shelves here, which will have rods in them, and then another 3 shelves. There'll be a second shelf layering here for this set, another shelf, another shelf. So we've gone ahead and laid these dowels in here. Simply we're going to mark these off, and if you can just create a jig, you can cut them all at that same length. Or, if you don't have that, you can just mark these off individually and mark them off. I'm using a bandsaw, which will cut these pretty quickly. If you don't have a bandsaw, what I recommend is taking just a jigsaw, clamping it upside down so the blade is in front of you, and just cut them like this. Make sure you have the cut flush to this surface. Remember, you're going to put another layer of wood here that's going to receive the dowel for the next level coming up.
And then slide them in.
Oh, okay. We've completed installing all the dowels on the lower level. Now we're going to set up for the next 3 shelves by positioning the shelf in to create a second layer. And in doing so, the existing wood will actually stop the new dowels from penetrating below. So now we're going to set these 3 shelves and cut dowels here. If you plan on moving your shelves around while you're getting yourself situated, make a note of the fact that these bars will pop up in these keyhole slots. So a way to secure that is use a number 10 by 5/8 self-tapping hex screw. Lay it right in here, power drill it through, and it'll catch the bottom of the rail such that if you need to move it, when you lift it, this will act like a locking feature. We mentioned earlier about potentially needing to move your shelves. We talked about using a little screw to hold the shelf in place. The only thing you need to do is hold the dowel in place, because when you lift the shelf, it's going to fall through the bottom. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll put a little bead of construction adhesive right on the tops of these dowels. And what that'll do is when we take this next piece of wood and just push it down on here, it'll squish that bead into the dowel and hold it in place after it dries.